Okay, so we want to go shopping for these awesome materials that Fallon and Yarl's team just created for your entire department. And before you got to do that, you want to make sure that your refrigerator is nice and organized. You got to check and see what you need, and you got to make sure your refrigerator is clean, right? That's the analogy we were going with. So you got to organize it. So we want to set up your storage compartments, and a lot of that stuff is going to be done with discussions that you're having with your school, your TIS, and what has been sent from the CPS Schoology team, Mr. Chamberlain and Ms. Jordan and Ms. Badawi, that they've sent out to the schools. If you haven't seen it yet, you're most likely going to get it. The other part is then just bringing them over and adding them to your fridge. And in this instance, where, like we said, we're calling your sandbox course your fridge, your storage area. You know, you don't have to worry about messing up there because there's no students in that sandbox course. As you get more familiar with it, you might be able to take it directly into the courses, but for this training, we're going to use your fridge as your sandbox course. Okay. So, course design and structure. All right. This is something from the earlier at the end of last school year, where a lot of complaints might have come in from not faculty so much, but the parents and students in the community, is when we were using Google Classroom, there's like teachers were doing it the best they could, but the problem was maybe one teacher was storing information here, one teacher was storing information here, and you're supposed to go here to get the assignments. So it was pretty cumbersome on the parents and the students. So following along with what the CPS Schoology team has sent out, we want to make sure that we're being consistent and have a nice, simple routine that you and your school is going to have to talk about and decide. Based on the information that's been sent out, there's two main options. You have either a time-based system, which is used by weeks, or you're going to have a unit-based system. Okay, with your folder structure that you'll use as you're sharing content and anything really, it doesn't, with your students, okay? Like I said, this information is sent to you and your admin, and there's also a teacher toolkit group that is in Schoology that if you haven't gotten that invite yet, you will be getting it shortly. And in there, again, that CPS Schoology team, Ms. Badawi and all, Mr. Chamberlain and all of them have created these awesome resources, not just within Schoology, but also with Zoom and other aspects to help virtual learning. So we've actually taken items from the teacher toolkit group and placed them into your math curriculum resource group, okay? Let's see here. So again, the actual course structure will vary from school to school. I recommend that the entire school, I mean, again, this is school-based decision, but when you have these conversations, it might be good to have the whole school follow that same organizational pattern. All right, so that students and parents, you have different age groups, that they all follow that same pattern of how the course material structure is set up. So for instance, Great Bridge Middle School, we chose the week-based system on the time. So we chose time and we're doing things by week. One school, high school, might just do it all by units. It just depends on, what y'all see best fits your schedule. So what we've done is we've set up some example templates of how this could look based on units or weeks and put them into that Schoology group. At the end of the day, you need to follow your school's design, okay? You definitely want to follow your school's design, but you can still align how things will be tasked in your courses using these Schoology materials that have been created, okay? So you'll be able to fit it in. All right, so let's see some examples of what I came up with for you to see that you can even take into your sandbox, which I'm going to show you too. Okay, so here's Schoology. All right, so in Schoology, in your math curriculum group, so we selected groups in math curriculum, we go to our resources. All right, here's that supermarket over here. I'm telling you, y'all are so fortunate that you have all these things in here. day one, week one, or actually probably week 3 after you spend those first couple of weeks getting to know the students, you're ready to go with some stuff. Actually, a lot of stuff. So here's the Schoology course resources. And again, you can see here CPS Schoology course design guidelines. We've placed, this is from that teacher toolkit that has been sent out to every school. And Schoology tutorials, that folder contains things from the CPS Schoology team and also things that the summer school team, I believe, has came up with as well. So your teacher course folder structure, these are the examples of what it may look like. And again, these are the guidelines from the city, all right, how to reduce visual clutter. And we have organizing by weeks and organizing by units. So if I click on organizing by weeks, again, here is the guidelines from the CPS Schoology team, and we want to be consistent. Here's an example, and I put in the description as to what you may want to include in there and how to use it. So week 1 example, you put the dates, describe the unit here, and then within that folder, you'll include your ILO document. You remember to use a calendar for specific assignments and any upcoming weeks you're going to want to keep unpublished. Now, Sean is going to take you into that aspect down the road because you don't want to overwhelm the students with a module of like 3 weeks worth of tasks. I mean, that's going to be hard to do, number one, but number two, we don't want to overwhelm the students. So our concept has been this sort of micro learning that's been going on. So you give them little bits and pieces at a time. So here's a week 1 example, and you can see the ILO is at the top, and each day in each folder is a different color, and it represents something. For instance, at our school, Monday is going to be orange, Tuesday is going to be yellow, and that's going to be across the board for the entire school. So these are those conversations that you'll have to, will come up or with your admin team or those stakeholders that make those decisions. So within Monday, we have the description of the unit, and then we have the unit tasks numbered here for you, like 1.1, 1.2, and it takes you along. And these are things that have already been made that got plugged in. Okay, based on summer school experience, and anyone can correct me if I'm wrong on this, when there was the live session of teaching, all right, there was a hiccup in terms of, all right, is this live session part of the task or is it a separate entity? So some of the teachers decided to have a separate folder, recorded live teacher sessions, where they would put that information there to just keep it separate. I think that might have to be building decision as well, but I think that that was a problem that actually came up. So if I click, well, I won't have anything in there because we didn't record it, but it would be there. One teacher I heard, founding, give me the name, did screenshots of those live sessions and placed them in there too. And I thought that's a great idea. So let me see here. So I'm going to go, that's how the week is done. And if I go back to the organizing by units, it's basically like the same sort of thing. Again, here's the information based on the CPS guidelines, all right, which looks like this. Okay. And here's an example of what it could look like. So if I click on the folder, provide the dates, and then the ILOs at the top, we put the recorded live sessions at the top here, and then we did folders for tasks, okay? We recommend if you do any sort of thing like that is to have it, that have a unique naming convention that's similar, that's easy for the kids to see, like Monday, adding fractions. You notice task 1, we do recommend to have the SOL for the math department. And you're going to see why, because a lot of these assignments have the SOL tagged and it's going to be easy for you to pick and pull, okay? So if you have certain dates on the tasks, you can provide it. It could be a Monday through Wednesday they got to complete this information. And then within the task folders, use that number system. So, and here's a task folder, 1.1, 1.2, and the students go through there that way, okay? So that's what it looks like. with the examples that we made. So I'm going to go back to presentation screen. All right, so those are just examples. You can pick and choose and use it how you want, but again, at the end of the day, follow your school's design. So how to copy these things, right? This is the easy part. The hard part was making all them. The easy part is copying them. So, and your teachers need to know that. Like they got it made. They can just copy some of this stuff to get going. So, how to copy unit in the week example templates into your sandbox. Okay. So let me move this. All right. So, in order to go there, again, sandbox course is your fridge. The math curriculum is the resources. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to your groups, select math curriculum, and then select resources. All right, so we've already been to the supermarket a little bit. So what's going to happen is the teachers or you would select Schoology course resources, get to that folder examples, and then click that gear, add to course. All right, and then you're going to choose your sandbox course. All right, so each teacher should have a sandbox course that they use. Now right here, it's clicking on a folder. So I had a folder in that sandbox course set up for algebra. So you should have folders probably set up for the different courses that you teach, okay? So that you could place them in each. After that, all you do is click add, and that's it. Very simple. You just follow those steps, add the course, and it's in there. All right, now the real fun. Let's supermarket sweep time. Remember that old show? So we're going back there, all right, because we just got our little, I thought about that as, hey, we got our storage bins. I got those Rubbermaid storage bins ready to go. Now I'm going back to get that food. I want to see what we have at that supermarket. All right, so we go back to the curriculum and the resources, okay, and you see all of those things that are available. You choose your middle or high, and then choose a subject. For this one, we chose to use middle school algebra 1. All right, and in middle school algebra 1, you'll notice when you click it, there is the pacing guide and an entire unit. Now, I didn't open up that entire unit, but you saw it with Fallon, how it has all those activities. You click the gear, add to course, all right, and then you're going to choose, again, your sandbox course for now for this training, okay, and you're going to put it in that same algebra 1 folder. So you're going to have basically an example template and then all those resources in that same folder in your sandbox course. Okay. When you're done, the magic has happened. All right. So when you're done, and this is a screenshot of that sandbox course. All right. What you've noticed in that algebra 1 folder, you have the week example template already there. Okay. And then you have the units, and everything within that unit has been brought over. All right. And what you're going to find out more on with Sean, how to move these about. And it's very simple. So you're going to use that drop down arrows on the left to view all the subfolders and all the content. Okay, remember, we've already copied over that template, so that's there too. So again, we're working with the sandbox course for now. As you get more familiar with this, you can use other aspects to copy or add to. You can add to the resource collection, all right? Your home, you can create a group as well if your teams have groups, but the collection is going to be nice. Or you can even go directly into your courses and select them all at once. The only issue with that is you want to make sure you want it to be unpublished at first. So that's why we're using the sandbox course as a practice. You can't mess up. It's there. It's good to go. Okay. So I'm telling you, y'all got it. And refer to this handout or this slideshow as you're working through it. But this is getting yourself organized so that we can rock and roll and get all those nice plated meals to these kids.